Hi guys, welcome to part 2 in my low carb food series. So if you don't know why I'm eating low carb, go and check out my diabetic background retinopathy video, and also part 1 in this series where I explain a little bit more about that, what I define as low carb, and also a grocery haul for a week's worth of low carb food and all of the recipes that'll be going into this video, which is low carb dinners. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you 3 low carb dinner options. Now this is a week's worth of food for me because every time I make one meal, I make double portions of it so that it lasts me for 2 days. Now you can even do more than this. So each recipe I'm going to be showing you actually provides 4 portions, but because I live with James and we cook for the both of us, that means that it's 4 portions, so 2 portions each, so 2 days. Whereas if you're living by yourself and following this, then you will have 4 days worth of food per recipe in this video. So this video is going to be fajita bowls, shredded chicken lettuce cups, and also courgetti natural dairy-free carbonara. So all of these recipes are great for meal prep, also all take only between 20 to 45 minutes each. So super simple, super quick recipes that are just some good low carb options. So with that being said, let's get into recipe 1, which is going to be the fajita bowls. So obviously fajitas, you can normally do, like, people would normally eat them in a wrap, but obviously wraps are full of carbs. So there are a few options. You can buy low carb wraps. You can use lettuce wraps, but we're not actually going to do that this week because we're having lettuce wraps for something else later, which is one of the other recipes I'm going to be showing you. So we're just going to make it into a fajita bowl. So basically just not having a wrap and putting it in a bowl with lots of the like sour cream and guacamole sauces and stuff. So if you normally make fajitas, you may want to just up your quantity of your mix recipe if you're not going to be having a wrap, because you don't want to be left hungry. So with that being said, let's just get into it and I'll show you the starting ingredients. So this is hopefully going to be enough to make 4 portions. It's going to be 2 days for 2 people. We are making beef fajitas this time. Normally we would do chicken, but we're having a lot of chicken this week, so we've just got some beef frying steaks. This is a packet from Sainsbury's, and there are 4 in here. Obviously some fajita spice mixes. You can make your own spice mix if you want, but these are just super easy. We may use a couple of them. We've then got 2.5 peppers, 3 onions, garlic cloves, kind of as much as you want. We'll probably use quite a few, and most of a punnet of mushrooms, and then some olive oil for the pan. But obviously you can add more vegetables, what other vegetables you like to have, but these are kind of our fajita staples. Start, we're just going to prep everything by literally just cutting it all up into like mouthful sized chunks. Okay, so we just put all of our prepped chopped veggies into one big bowl together, while James then crushes the garlic, and then we're going to get chopping the steaks. Okay, so first of all we heated a large glug of the olive oil in the pan and then added all of those veggies. So what James does is he actually cooks the veggies and then adds some of the spice packet and also the garlic into one pan, cooks it all first until the veggies are cooked properly, then does the steaks separately to make sure they both cook to the right consistency, then adds the veggies back in with the steak and the rest of the spice packet, and then it's all done. Garlic and spice packet going in after about 5 minutes of cooking in the wok and constantly stirring. I left the room for 2 minutes and James did the next step without filming it, but basically once it's all cooked, that was probably around 7 to 10 minutes in total, then transferring into this bowl, and then he's just going to give the wok a quick clean before we then pop the steak in. The only reason we're cleaning it is because it got a bit charred. So oil in the clean pan, and also apparently some of the garlic. James is going off script. And then the steak into the wok, and basically just fry it all up. Right, once the steak is cooked to your liking, then you just chuck in the rest of the veggies and any extra spice mix that you might want. Then when it's all cooked, just serve into your bowl, and then we put cheese on top and then some of these Tex-Mex mini dips. So we've got guac, salsa and sour cream, and then yeah, just top with as much as you like. This could be a good lunch or dinner option, and it's a good meal prep option. So today's recipe for dinner is going to be our Mexican shredded chicken lettuce wraps. These are actually also a good option for lunch if you have leftovers. So I'm going to be doing a recipe for 4 portions, but normally it actually does 4 or 5 or even 6 portions for us, depending on how hungry we are and if we want any for lunch and that kind of thing. But the very first stage is literally just to poke your chicken breasts. This is what takes the longest time, and it takes, depending on how much you're cooking, between 40 minutes to maybe an hour. It's about 20 minutes of cooking time per 250 grams of chicken breast, but that's kind of like a rough guide, so you will need to check it a little bit. But mostly for this like beginning time, you can just poach the get the chicken poaching, sit back, relax, and come back later. So all you need to do is get a big pan and your chicken breast. Put the chicken breast in the pan with some salt, and then top it up with boiling water. And that is how we're going to poach our chicken breast. So as you can see, this is kind of like the big size pan I will use. We're going to be using 4 chicken breasts, or roughly 500 to 700 grams of chicken, and then cover with water. So our chicken breasts are now in our hot water. I'm just going to pop the lid on, bring it up to the boil, and then probably wait around half an hour before coming back and getting on with the rest of the stuff. And I will catch up with you when it's ready for stage 2. So it's been about 45 minutes and our chicken is done. It is so moist and like tender. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shred that chicken while James then preps our veg. So we've got 2 peppers, 2 onions, garlic cloves, and then obviously spinach doesn't need prepping, and that is coriander. So you're just going to chop it all super fine. Yeah. So once all the veg is prepped, we're just heating a very large glug of olive oil in the pan, and then I'm gonna wait for that to heat up, and then add our veggies. The veggies have softened a bit, just add the garlic, and then after the garlic has gone in, we start adding seasoning mix from whenever in the process. So we've got some fajita mix and also some taco mix. Honestly, it really doesn't matter what mixes you get, but these are just some good options if you want. So you put some in now, and then we're gonna add the chicken and add the rest of the spice with the chicken. Then before adding the rest of the spice, we're going to add some lemon juice onto the chicken just to keep it nice and moist, and also to help absorb some of those spices a bit better. And when that's all mixed in, adding about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. So once you've got the mayo in, it should be a kind of creamy, sticky consistency. And then you can play around with your spices, adding more of a spice packet. You can add things like chili powder if you wanted to in there, whatever spices kind of take your fancy. So we're going to put on some sriracha. Then we're just going to add some sweet corn once your spices are where you want them to be at. Around half a cup to a cup of sweet corn, or more or less, and then also a big old handful of spinach, the good thing about this dish is that you can literally customize it however you want to. And then one optional extra is coriander. James loves coriander, so we're pretty much having a bit of it in ours, but you can have as much or as little or none at all as you want. And then to serve, we have our classic setup with our Mexican dish, cheese and Tex-Mex, But basically you want some kind of lettuce that is boat shaped. So we've got hearts of romaine, and then we're just going to fill it with the mixture, which is looking lovely and colourful over here, and our sauces and cheese. Okay, so first things first, you may notice I'm hopefully in quite a lot better quality image than I usually am, because I'm filming this on my brand new camera, which I'm so excited about, instead of my usual phone which I use. So hooray, I finally bought a camera, and hopefully image quality is going to be a whole lot better from here on out. But we are on our final dinner of our week's worth of low carb dinners, and I'm going to be doing a courgette dairy-free, gluten-free carbonara, which I'm super excited to show you. It's actually one of the recipes on the Sarah's Day Sunny app. Now, if you're not low carb, you can also do this with, oh, my tap just keeps going. You can also do this with 50% courgette and 50% pasta, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to do it as just courgette. And the recipe quantities that I'm going to show you should do between 2 to 4 portions, depending on how hungry you are and how big your courgettes are. So let's just get into the ingredients. Okay, so the ingredients you're going to need for 2 to 4 portions is we have 4 courgettes, we've got some fresh parsley, some pancetta as much as you want, 3 cloves of garlic, a lemon, an onion, 1 avocado, which needs to be fairly ripe-ish. We're also going to be using 1 egg, and one thing that I forgot in the back of my cupboard is nutritional yeast. And I mentioned this in my low carb food staples video if you want some more information on that, and I'll leave an Amazon link to some down below. Obviously, the first things first, with courgette, you need courgette. But if you don't have a spiralizer like we don't, it's actually really easy to make. You can literally just use a peeler and peel along the courgette to make thin strands like this. So James is going to be getting on with making the courgette strands, and I will show you how to make the carbonara sauce in the meantime. Okay, so for the sauce we need a juiced lemon, and apparently if you roll it first before you juice it, you get more juice out of it. So we're just going to roll it, and then I'm going to juice it. So we want the juice of the whole lemon here, followed by 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Now, if you aren't vegan or dairy free and you don't have nutritional yeast, you can just use any kind of grated hard cheese like Parmesan and use it as a substitute. Then here, obviously, I'm cutting up an avocado. Please do not judge my knife skills, I am no chef. And obviously remove the pip, and then we're going to spoon the whole avocado into the sauce mix into the blender. I'm just going to show you one half because honestly I am just so cat-handed, you don't want to see me do both halves. And then we are just cutting up about 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley, but honestly you can do as much or as little as you like, and putting that in the mix. That is the last ingredient before adding just salt and pepper and giving it a blend. And now you get to watch my terrible knife skills again as we chop up 1 whole red onion ready to fry with the pancetta in a mo. And then we have James on the garlic. Again, garlic, very personal choice. Totally depends on how much you want in your dish, but we use about 3 to 4 big cloves of garlic for this. While James is on onion and garlic duty, I'm going to now boil the courgette. It doesn't really matter when you boil it, and cook it. It only takes a couple of minutes, so I've just got it all in a big pan, got the kettle boiling, and then just going to cover the courgette with some salt and the water and boil it for literally only 2 to 3 minutes. And then as soon as it's cooked, drain it and you can pop it back in the pan until it's ready to use, because it will get reheated again later on. Okay, now everything's prepped, it's ready for cooking. So we've got our prosciutto is going straight into the pan with no oil because it makes a lot of oil itself. Goes into the pan cold, and then going to turn the pan on to get that cooked. Put in the chopped garlic and onions, get it all frying together, and then you can probably see how this dish is going to come together. So you want to get out as much of the water as possible from your courgette, and then we're just going to tip it into our mix. And just adding in our sauce mixture. And then the last optional extra, a good old heap of parmesan into the mixture. If you are vegan or dairy free, obviously you can use a vegan cheese instead, but this makes it so creamy adding this in now as well. And there we have our finished courgette carbonara topped with some more cheese. That is a fantastic low carb swap if you ask me. So there we have a week of low carb dinners. Let me know if you try any of them in the comments, and also if you have any other good low carb dinner recipes, please do leave them below in the comments, because I would love to expand my dinner repertoire. I think low carb dinners are possibly one of the harder options to find something that's filling enough while also obviously being low carb and also high enough protein. So yeah, please share any ideas you have down below. But for now, that is it for this one. Make sure you are subscribed so you can see part 3 and 4, which is going to be lunches and also low carb snacks. But for now, I will see you in the next one. Bye!